Ever felt lost, adrift in life's relentless storms? In a small, weathered village nestled against the vast, unpredictable ocean lived Elias. His life was inextricably bound to the sea, a legacy passed down through generations of fishermen. But unlike his ancestors, Elias carried a heavy heart, a quiet dread for the very waters that sustained him. Each sunrise brought with it the promise of a new catch, but also the gnawing anxiety of what the ocean might unleash. He saw the sea not as a provider, but as a formidable adversary, a capricious force that could turn his world upside down. The villagers knew him as a diligent worker, a man of few words, his face often edged with a subtle weariness. Young people, full of dreams and aspirations, often looked at the ocean with a sense of adventure. But Elias saw only its potential for chaos. He yearned for calm, for predictability, but the ocean offered neither. His nets were often full, his boat sturdy, yet his spirit remained tethered by an unspoken fear. He would watch the horizon, not with anticipation, but with a wary eye, always bracing for the inevitable. One particularly harsh winter, the storms raged. Day after day, the sky was a bruised purple, the waves colossal and unforgiving. Elias was confined to shore, his livelihood stalled, his anxieties amplified. He spent his days mending nets, his hands busy, but his mind adrift in worrying. One evening, as the wind howled like a banshee, he found himself at the village elder's hut seeking solace. Old man Tiber, his face a roadmap of 100 seasons at sea, listened patiently, his eyes twinkling with wisdom. "The ocean," Elias, Tiber began, "is not your enemy. It is your greatest teacher. Every wave carries a lesson. If only you are willing to learn," Elias scoffed, "lessons? It teaches me only fear and loss." Tiber smiled gently. "Fear is a compass, my boy. It points to what you must understand. Loss is a reminder of what you must cherish. The ocean does not seek to harm you, it simply is. It is your perception that makes it friend or foe." Tiber then shared stories of his own youth, of storms that nearly claimed him, of moments of despair that transformed into understanding. He spoke of learning to read the subtle shifts in the wind, the changing hues of the water, the behavior of the gulls. The ocean speaks a language. Elias, you must learn to listen, not just with your ears, but with your heart. This conversation sparked a tiny ember within Elias, a flicker of curiosity that had long been extinguished by fear. The next morning, despite the lingering chill, Elias went to the shore, not to fish, but to observe. He watched the waves, not as monstrous threats, but as intricate patterns. He felt the wind, not as a hostile force, but as a messenger. He began to see the ocean with new eyes, slowly, painstakingly, day by day. He started to notice the rhythm, the ebb and flow, the moments of fierce power followed by serene calm. He realized that even in its wildest moments, there was wisdom. He began to experiment. Instead of fighting against strong currents, he learned to navigate with them, using their power. He studied the clouds, predicting storms with an accuracy that surprised even himself. He learned to trust his instincts. One day, a young fisherman named Finn, new to the trade and visibly nervous, approached Elias. "Master Elias," Finn stammered. "How do you face the ocean with such calm? I see the storms coming, and my heart turns to ice." Elias replied, "Finn, the ocean will always bring storms. That is its nature. But you do not have to let the storm enter your heart. You learn its ways, you respect its power, and you find your own strength within its chaos," he continued. "When the waves crash, they are not trying to drown you. They are simply moving. Your task is to move with them, to find the path of least resistance, to understand that even the most violent wave eventually recedes." Elias took Finn under his wing, teaching him not just how to fish, but how to truly see the ocean. He taught him to find beauty in the tempest, to appreciate the raw power of nature, and to understand that challenges were not roadblocks, but opportunities for growth. He shared Tiber's wisdom, emphasizing that every difficulty was a lesson in disguise. The ocean is a mirror, Finn. It reflects your own spirit. If you approach it with fear, it will seem terrifying. If you approach it with respect, it will reveal its wonders. Years passed, and Elias became known not just for his bountiful catches, but for his unwavering serenity, his infectious smile. Even in the face of the fiercest gales, he had truly learned to smile on the waves, not because the storms had ceased, but because his perception had changed. He no longer saw the ocean as an adversary, but as his greatest teacher. A constant source of lessons in resilience, adaptability, and inner peace, his transformation was a beacon of hope for the entire village, especially for the young. They saw in Elias a living testament to the power of perspective, the strength that comes from embracing challenges rather than fearing them. His story became a legend, whispered among the boats and around evening fires. It was a story of a man who found his smile not in the absence of storms, but in the wisdom gained from navigating them. So, what storms are you facing today? What challenges feel insurmountable? Remember Elias. Remember that the waves of life, no matter how high, carry within them the potential for profound lessons. Embrace them, learn from them, and find your own way to smile on the waves. For it is in facing our fears, understanding our challenges, and adapting with resilience that we truly discover our inner strength and unlock the boundless potential within us. Let every difficulty be a stepping stone, every setback a lesson, and every storm an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more at peace with the beautiful, unpredictable journey of life.